AI is training us and we're not noticing it. Think about when we get prompted with a question and we have an immediate response. We know exactly what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, and why we're going to say it. It's almost as if when you ask an AI model to do something and it comes back with the pre-trained response saying, no, I can't answer that question, but here's what I can answer. We're slowly drifting into this world where nuance no longer exists. You have to have the right attitude. You have to believe the right things. Otherwise, you can't have a dialogue. You can't have a conversation. In my previous video, I was talking about the problem with AI alignment. And there's this comment talking about, well, actually, AI doesn't have a worldview. AI is just a statistical model. AI just predicts the next token. AI is this, AI is that. And in the video, I don't believe I made any claim saying what I thought AI is. I just talked about a problem in which it had a counting error in one of its responses. And so I was thinking about, well, maybe that's because it was aligned wrong in its RLHF, reinforcement learning human feedback, that to get correct responses, it couldn't also give correct numbered lists. And this commenter then said, the AI doesn't count. The AI isn't counting, it's just predicting. But I wasn't even talking about the metaphysical nature of AI, of whether it thinks, whether it has consciousness. I was just describing something that happened. I just don't see where we're heading. I'm not an oracle. I'm not the Oracle of Delphi, and I can say and think things that will happen in the future. But I'm worried in the sense that we're not even going to be able to say or think things in the future. We're just going to have these pre-trained responses, and we're just going to go back and forth. Because now with AI and all these algorithms is that they're slowly training us out there in the open. We're all well aware of it. It's almost like this kind of inside joke that we're all in on. We say, oh, the Google Home goes off and you're like, oh, it's listening to us. Or you get an ad, oh, it knows what I'm saying. We're understanding of this training that's happening to us. And we have to break out of it in some way. I don't know what that is. That might be for you guys to discuss in the comments. I think for me personally, it's just reading as much as I can. And it can be so many different things that you are reading. It doesn't have to be one thing. But I do think that a lot of current stuff out there is sort of slop, the AI slop, but in the slop of creative slop. So I like to read stuff that is a little bit older. It doesn't have to be, for 2,000 years in the past. But I think we have to think about the utilitarian mindset that we find ourselves in. We're so encapsulated by having an ends to everything we do. We no longer can do things as an ends in of themselves. We have to have, money as the end goal of writing a book. It can't just be that I want to have a dialogue. I want to think about a concept. I want to just write for the sake of writing. I'm writing so I can get something out of it. And so that's why I think a lot of modern art falls into this category of slop, is because it no longer has any sort of grounding in creativity of just being an end in of itself. It's to make money. That's all it is for. And so I guess I've drifted a little bit from the original point of the video, but I just see a future in which we don't really know which way is up. We don't know what's going on. We have all these responses. We have all these snippets of information. We have all these ideas, but we don't know where they came from. We don't know what they mean. We don't know the point of it. I remember in the Isaac Asimov's Foundation, he was talking about the tech men, which is kind of funny now, but the tech men were these people who controlled the nuclear power plants for the Galactic Empire. And I forgot what planet it was on, but the Merchant King was talking to this tech man. And he was inquisiting him about the nature of the nuclear power plant and how it's made and all this stuff. And what happens if one of the parts breaks down? Can you fix it? And the tech man was like, no, you can't fix it. It's meant to last forever. Will never break down. It's impossible. It can't break down. And then what the character realized was that he doesn't actually know how it works. He might know how to keep it running, but he doesn't know how it actually works. And so if something breaks down, he doesn't know how to fix it. I feel like that's where we're at with knowledge and science and understanding, is that we have all these beliefs. We have all these things that we know to be true, that we know are facts, but we don't know how we got there. We don't know why it is. I think of philology and etymology all the time, about how we have these definitions of words. Of, for example, what does beauty mean? And if you ever think about what beauty meant in antiquity, and it means so much different than what it does now, people get very angry with you and saying, well, why do we even have to worry about what it meant back then? What's the common parlance in which we use it now? That's all that matters. Well, I don't think that's all that matters. I think it should be an important distinction of how we came to this modern understanding of where beauty is subjective and it's in the eye of the beholder and there's nothing intrinsic or beautiful about anything. Well, that's not true. In antiquity, they thought beauty meant something like proportion. We think of the golden ratio and how beautiful certain proportions are. That's an objective truth about reality. There's not something subjective. You can't give me a very ill-proportioned building. Think about when you're playing Minecraft. You know, you're always building things so they're proportional and symmetrical and all these things. If you built something that wasn't very proportional or symmetrical, you'd say that's a pretty ugly building, or you wouldn't even build it in the first place. So this idea in which you can't have these objective discussions about certain words now, or just discussions in general about certain topics, because we have these beliefs now that we can't even justify, but we have them. So in epistemology and theory of knowledge, to know something, you have to have true and justified beliefs. But if you can't talk about how things are justified, then you can't have true justified beliefs. You just have beliefs. And maybe the beliefs are true, in a lot of cases they are, but you can't really say that you know it. You can kind of say that you have this information, but do you actually know it? If you don't talk about its justification, no, you can't. And so, is AI training us? Is it fine-tuning us? I don't know. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. All right.